What's going on, everybody? Welcome in Woodward Bets on a gray, rainy Friday here in the Metro Detroit area. I am Beer, joined as always by Scott. Scott, coming off a big Thursday night, my Packers won. Football bet. I don't mind betting against my team and they get the win. It's kind of one of those hedges. But NBA remains on fire. As your little sign behind you says, we're on quite the roll in NBA, so we want to continue that. But here you had a hell of a night last night, so glad to see you up and at 'em here today.
Woo! Yeah, I had a late one last night. Went down with some of the Woodward sports folks, and we went down and had some fun at the MGM. Watched the game, and maybe 10, 12 Modelo's or so later, I made it home and didn't have really as much money in my pocket as I went down there with. But hey, I had a really good time. So anytime I can get out on a Thursday night. We had a big old meeting there with the all the brass at Woodward Bets and their Woodward Sports, and then we decided to go have a little bit of fun. So can't complain at all. But yes, you're right. I woke up this morning and it felt like somebody was squeezing my head in a vice. But a couple waters, eat a couple peanut butter and jellies, and I'm good to go.
Well, the good news, it's raining outside, so you don't have to worry about raking leaves today. So, you don't
That's
have to
good.
worry. The shoulder can't be hurting with the head, so we can take the day off from that. But we cannot take the day off from sports. We got a lot to cover here on a Friday. So the plan for today's show, we'll cover MLB. We got Game 3 in the World Series heading to Atlanta. We'll update the NFL injuries. Friday, always a big day in the NFL. Your sit-start questions have some good ones to walk through today. And, of course, we'll talk some NBA, DFS, some bets, and the show with our best bet segment. Hopefully we continue to stay on roll with the NBA. So Friday, what's the plan? Any big plans here? Obviously, Michigan State game tomorrow. We got a big Lions game on Sunday. I know the Woodward Sports crew is going to be out at Hopcat in East Lansing tomorrow. So what's Scott's plan here for this weekend? A lot of sports on tap here. It's going to be an exciting weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's Halloween weekend. We got,
Yep.
I need this Halloween to go away, so I stopped digging in that candy bowl. I don't know how many of them Reese's cups I've ate in the last like 4 or 5 days. I mean, them and Skittles are a weakness of mine. But yeah, looking forward to this big football game tomorrow. This big rivalry game we got going with obviously down there in East Lansing. I'm not sure if I might make it over there to that over to our tailgate over there. I'm trying to kind of pay attention a little bit to the weather. Don't really want to have to go out there and get all wet and everything else. I think I'd rather stay in my man cave where I got all my TVs and probably make a few bets on the game, have some fun, and really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's one of the first times here we've had in a few years where both teams are pretty evenly matched. So looking forward to that game for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So let's recap yesterday. Again, the best bets have been killing it. 12-2 in the NBA this week. We had the under first half last night. Aaron Jones on the prop. Did you hit the Aaron Jones prop? I didn't. How many
By
yards
two
did he?
yards.
2 yards. Hey, a winner's a winner. So anyway, we take it. So my Packers get the win. The 7-0 streak continues without Devontae Adams. So somehow, some way, and what an ending to that game. So, Green Bay puts himself right at the top in the NFC. It's going to be an interesting playoffs with, Green Bay. Arizona's not going anywhere. Tampa Bay, the Rams. I mean, there's a lot of powerhouse teams in the NFC. So, going to be very interesting as we tick closer to the playoffs. So, NBA again, we got 7 games. We'll break that down at the end. 6 games in the NHL tonight, Scott. So, any thoughts on the Red Wings here tonight?
I won't lie, man. I was kind of a little bit disconnected from the Red Wings the last few years just because of their recent struggles, obviously. But man, I piped in a few times and kind of checked them out and watched maybe a few periods here and there. And it's exciting to watch them. We got a bunch of young guys that are feisty. I got Mo Sedler and we got obviously Lucas Raymond. So it looks like the Iser plan looks like it's in full effect. So kind of looking forward. I do like some hockey, especially when it gets closer to playoff time. I think playoff hockey is one of the funnest things to watch as far as playoff type sports. So, yeah, kind of looking forward to that. But once in a while I may do some bets on hockey. But hey, I'm not going to bullshit anybody. I don't generally bet on hockey. Maybe if I'm going or I'm going to watch the game, I might make a little wager on an over or something like that. But yeah, kind of looking forward to see how the Wings fare. Maybe we can get in the playoffs this year.
There you go. It's a young team. All these Detroit teams rebuilding. They may be out ahead of everybody. So I know nothing about hockey. I'll play DFS hockey like when there's nothing else, like when some of the sports are on their all-star breaks or, I'll dabble a little bit, but I just tend to stay away from it. Just growing up in Milwaukee, we didn't have a team. We had an IHL team. So for you had the Red Wings. I'm kind of surprised. Most people from here are diehard hockey fans. So you might get booed out of the building here, but we'll stick with what we know, Scott, and what you definitely know is baseball. So we'll start there. Game 3 tonight. Obviously, that series tied up at 1. We got Garcia and Anderson going tonight. Houston, a road favorite here at -111. Total at 8.5 at most shops. A few trends here on the games tonight. Astros are 6-1 in the last 7 meetings, under 8-3-1 over the last 12 meetings. So overall synopsis of the game here, Scott, how do you think this one's going to play out? Thoughts in DFS. We'll see if we can find some bets here that we like. Game 3, exciting stuff here tonight.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a pretty exciting game. I really like I'm going to stick with my Braves, and as we've been saying, and I'm actually going to probably go with the under tonight. I think the weather is going to be right around 50, maybe a little below 50. So generally the baseball doesn't fly too much. But really my favorite play tonight is going to be the Braves in the first 5. And the reason being is Luis Garcia on the mound for Houston. He did go out last start against the Red Sox. He went 5 innings through 76 pitches. He had 7 Ks. He only gave up 1 hit. He had a really strong outing, but before that, he struggled quite a bit. In the playoffs so far. So the 2 games prior, he gave up 10 earned runs in 3.2 innings. So obviously he had some struggles, especially with Boston, and then the White Sox gave up 2 home runs in both those games. So I think the Braves are going to get to him. I just think that, especially early in the game, I don't expect Garcia really to make it out of the 3rd inning. So with that being said, he also has a K prop of 4.5 Ks, and at this point, I like the under in that K prop as well. I don't think he's going to make it past 3 innings to really have a chance to get that 4.5 Ks. I really think the Braves are going to win this one, and maybe they can continue that chop they're doing over there. Apparently, all kinds of stuff going on, Chris. We can't do the chop anymore. We can't call the bullpen anymore. They want us to call it the arm farm or something. But I got a chuckle out a little bit of that yesterday.
Yeah, and I misspoke. Atlanta's the favorite in this game. So they are up to -115 here at most places. -111, about the lowest I could find on them. If you like Houston, there are some pluses out. There's a plus 101 out there. Looks like that one is at Caesars. So I don't have a strong lean on this game, to be honest. I'm with you. I think Atlanta wins this game. As far as the total, I don't want to force it here. I don't know how this one's going to play out, and it's a good lesson. We don't always have the answers. We're trying to predict things that are very, very unpredictable. So not going to come on here and pretend to know every single game, every single way it's going to play out. This is just one of those games I've looked up and down. I'm trying to find an angle here. I have a lean to the Braves, but certainly not going to make it a best bet. I just don't have a strong feeling on this one.
Yeah, like I said, I think, in situations like this, I like to be able to kind of control a little bit. That's why I like betting on the first 5. I feel as if, I'm going to get a majority of the 2 starting pitchers. I know what I'm going to get. Seeing Garcia's recent struggles, I'm just going to bank on that. I think that's where maybe we can get a little bit of an edge if the Braves get to him a little bit early. Ian Anderson's a guy that had a great 2020 season when he came out. This year, his sophomore year, struggling a little bit. If you kind of look at his pitch counts, he's been like mid 50, 60 pitch count here recently. He did get up to the 80s in one of his playoff starts. But so I don't really expect these pitchers maybe to go 3 innings each, maybe 3 or 4 innings. And then we might get into that Atlanta bullpen, which has been a lot better so far than Houston's bullpen. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with the first 5 there.
Yeah, Garcia's interesting. He can rack up some strikeouts, but you mentioned his struggles so far in the postseason has been ugly. So, again, I lean Atlanta here. I think they probably win this game, but I'm probably just going to leave this one alone. So, let's transition out of MLB. Let's talk some football here, Scott. So, first thing, show's coming up here. You and Detroit Beastie going to make his return, going to break down the Saturday college football slate, top 25 action. So make sure you guys tune into that tomorrow morning. Those two, you and BC, are going to go over every one of those games and find some bets that you like. And then you and I are back for Sunday, our big Sunday NFL Spectacular. Don't want to miss that. We're going to discuss season long. We're going to discuss DFS. And we're going to go through the whole NFL card and find best bets in that game. So make sure you join us for that Sunday show. Make sure you join the guys tomorrow. East Lansing, again, tune in, or you can check out the tailgate party. Starts at 10 a.m. at Hopcat in East Lansing. The whole Woodward Sports crew is going to be there. And make sure on this show, you are following us on Twitter at Woodward Bets. Follow the network at Woodward Sports. And also want to mention the sponsor here. Make sure you are checking out Underdog Fantasy as well. Great sponsor of the show here. Something for everybody at Underdog. And what it is, best ball drafts, prop drafts, all kinds of different things that you can do on the Underdog app. Buy-ins as low as $1, so there's something there for everybody, all the way to the high stakes. So what we're going to do to get you started, if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, join, sign up, use promo code WSN. That's Woodward Sports Network. That's going to get you $10 free on a $10 deposit. So who doesn't love free money? You know, it helps out the sponsor, helps out the Woodward Bets crew here. Everybody's a winner, and hopefully you turn that $20 into some big winnings. So again, Underdog Fantasy, promo code WSN. All right, Scott, let's do the sit-start questions here. Some good questions came in here on Friday. Remember, every single Friday, we will cover these. So at Woodward Bets, you can send your questions in. We'll pick the best 5, and we'll cover them live right on the air. So excited to get through some of these. So let's go to the first one. At Ransley55 wants to know, Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins this week? So a little quarterback dilemma here, Scott. What do you got?
Yeah, Prescott, we're going to have to watch him. There's talk that they may sit him down a little bit. They're a little bit concerned about him. So obviously, if Prescott doesn't play, it would be Cousins. But if Prescott is a go, I think you got to be a little bit concerned. He's probably not going to be running around, and they're not going to want him taking any kind of hit. So I think that kind of takes away part of what the strength is of Prescott. So just kind of leaning on that. I think that is kind of a toss-up for me. But I probably would go Cousins here, and just especially to be safe. But, from what we're looking at now, it appears as if Prescott may not play this week.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. If he's in, it's Dak for me, even with some of the concerns. I don't think they'd roll him out there if he wasn't 100% ready to go. And I don't know about you, Scott. I don't play the game scared. Like, well, what if he gets hurt? And then I don't do that. If the guy's playing, to me, he's ready to rock. I'm rolling with Dak. If he's out, makes that one easy. You roll with Cousins, who pretty good matchup with Dallas. Got a high total in that game. All right, Ron G, 884. Go ahead.
I was going to say, they play each other. Cousins and Dak are playing each other. So
Yep. Should be a shootout in that one, no doubt. At Ron G, 8844 wants to know, Zach Moss or Chuba Hubbard, full point PPR.
Ooh, that's another good one there. I was kind of looking into this one when I saw that question, and I think I'm going to roll with Zach Moss against Miami here. I just think they're going to be ahead. I think he's going to get the ball quite a bit. Seems like they've been weaning him a little bit more into the offense, so I'm going to go with Moss.
All right, we're not helping old Ron out here. I'm going to be on the other side of this one. I'm going to go with Chuba. It's close, so it's not like there's a huge gap here. Buffalo will be playing from ahead, likely. They're 14-point favorites, so that's certainly in the helps Zach Moss, but he's also got to battle Devin Singletary in that backfield and not going to catch a ton of passes, whereas Chuba Hubbard going to be involved in that passing game. I think Carolina, a team I really like to bounce back this week. Sam Darnold's been terrible. I think they get it going here against Atlanta. If he's playing well, that's going to mean good things for Chuba Hubbard, so I will go the Hubbard side of that. Number 3, Noah, 1836, wants to know Danny Dimes or Carson Wentz at quarterback. Another quarterback question. So a lot of quarterback controversies here. What do you got for this one?
Old Danny Dimes. It's they got a good matchup. Obviously, we haven't seen Kansas City stop anybody. So, that's definitely in his favor there. I think they're going to have to throw. I'd like to see what kind of receivers he's going to have back this week, and it does sound like he's going to get a few of them back, and there was even a little bit of talk that Barkley might think about giving it a roll. They'll probably end up sitting him out another week, but yeah, if he starts getting a lot of his pieces back, I don't mind Danny Dimes here. But Carson Wentz, I think that's a tough one though. For me, Carson Wentz has been he's up and down. He's very frustrating. He kind of reminds me of like Matt Stafford when he was with the Lions. He can go out and he can have a great game, or he'll just put out a plain old dud on you. And I think that in this game here, I kind of think Danny Dimes has a better floor than he does. So I think I probably lean Dimes just over the fact that I think because they're playing the Chiefs and we've seen their struggles.
I'm Daniel Jones as well. And I could see the case for both these guys. I see the dilemma here. Carson Wentz probably a little bit safer. We know Danny Dimes can be pretty erratic. Wentz has a good matchup as well with Tennessee, high total in that game. But, like you mentioned, Jones getting healthier, some of those receivers back healthy. If Barkley's back in there, plus he gives you that rushing component that Wentz just does not give you. So that raises the ceiling. So it's one of those things. Do I need to play it safe? How does the matchup look? Then maybe I just go with Wentz. But if I'm the underdog in my head-to-head matchup in season long and I need a little bit more of a ceiling, then I'm turning to Daniel Jones. So that's kind of how I would handle that dilemma there. All right, Steve N7N wants to know, sit one out of Amari Cooper, Michael Pittman, and Chris Godwin. Scott, this one's tough here.
I think I would go probably sit Cooper, especially with Prescott. He may not play. If Prescott doesn't play, I'd probably definitely sit Cooper. Pittman, especially like we mentioned with that matchup against Tennessee, I think he should have a pretty decent week. And then, hey, if Brown sits, Godwin is going to obviously get some more target opportunities. So I think Godwin would be my number one guy, Pittman 2, and then depending on the Dak, I think Cooper would probably be my guy out here.
I'm sitting Cooper as well. Antonio Brown was announced out just before we started the show today. So Godwin's a must for me. We're also going to Mike Evans dealing with his nightmare matchup there with Mr. Lattimore of the Saints. Quite a history between those two. So I think we get another good Godwin week. And Pittman against Tennessee, they're going to have to score points. Looks like T.Y. Hilton may not go this weekend. So he's going to get a ton of targets. Let's be honest. Amari Cooper has not been that good this year. I mean, he's had some decent games, but far from what we expect from a guy of his caliber. So I'm fine sitting Cooper down. If Dak's out, then it's a no-brainer. It's definitely Pittman and Godwin in that lineup, Cooper on the bench. All right, last one we're going to do for today. Alpha Football 99 wants to know, would you trade Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams for Patrick Mahomes and Chris Godwin? And that would allow him to pair Mahomes with Tyreek Hill. So very interesting here. I love these trade questions, Scott. So I'm going to go to you first. What are your thoughts on this one?
Ooh, that's tough. That's quite the trade there. Generally you don't see guys like that. So I'm going to guess here, the guy offering Rodgers and Adams is probably struggling. The guy with Mahomes is probably not doing all that great anyway. They're probably two teams that maybe they want to make a little change here, maybe shake it up a little bit. But I got a hard time. I don't think I would give up Mahomes and Godwin for Rodgers and Adams at this point. I just, you're getting in time of the season here at the end where it's going to start getting a little bit cold. Obviously, we know Green Bay plays outside. So I think that might have, especially when you start getting in the playoff time for the fantasy football, down here in the week, weeks 15, 16, whatever how your league works out. But I don't think I would allow. I mean, I could see why a guy would want to pair Mahomes with Hill, obviously, but I just got a hard time. I would have a hard time giving up that for those guys.
I would be on the Mahomes Godwin side. Adams is a great get, no doubt. Godwin is not super far off from Devontae Adams, in my opinion. Where I think there is a pretty sizable gap between Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers right now. As much as a Packer fan, I love Aaron Rodgers. Mahomes, even with his struggles, is easily a top 1-2 quarterback in this league. You can make a Lamar Jackson case. You can make a Kyler Murray case maybe. But I think the Chiefs are going to get things going. They're too good to be this bad, a blunt way to say it. So give me Mahomes in that one. I think they really get it rolling here sooner rather than later. So let's dig into some of the injuries. Scott, Friday, a big day. We got a lot of practice reports from yesterday as well. So we'll start with Robert Tonyan last night. You saw that. Looks like he's going to be done for the year, unfortunately. So big blow there to Green Bay. I guess we'll see Mercedes Lewis and whoever else they bring in at tight end. DK Metcalf no practice yesterday. Yeah, that was a hell of a catch, but cost him the season. So.
Well, tough blow there. Lewis. that
Oh,
one-handed
Mercedes.
catch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Just his
that was
foot was a
awesome.
little too big. It was the old Kevin Durant where it was
Yeah.
his foot was a little too big. He was on the line, and it was a hell of a catch. So mostly known for his blocking, but showed you he's still got some athletic ability. So DK Metcalf still dealing with a foot injury. Alex Collins dealing with a groin injury. Austin Eckler, kind of a late week add to the injury report, always concerning, a hip injury. Jarvis Landry, limited practice yesterday. Baker Mayfield still dealing with that shoulder injury. We'll see if he's able to return. Antonio Gibson, limited yesterday. Sounds like he's going to give it a go. We still have Gronk, limited practice. He's trending towards a return. We talked about Dak Prescott already. Sterling Shepard, limited practice. Kadarius Toney was back at practice as of today, so he may be returning. Now, Kenny Golladay and Saquon Barkley still sidelined today, so and Sterling Shepard limited on Friday's practice. So the Giants, it seems like all season long, Scott, the Giants have been a pain in our arse trying to figure them out. So we'll continue to look into them. Miles Sanders was placed on IR, so he will miss a couple of weeks. Julio Jones has been ruled out for this weekend. So a big boom there for A.J. Brown in that game against the Colts. Jarvis Landry sounds like he's fine, should be back dealing with that knee injury. And that's pretty much it for the injuries. And anything I missed here that we didn't talk, a ton of injuries. Oh, Jerry Jeudy rested today. They have not activated him from the IR yet. So I know we're expecting him back. We'll see what happens with him. Good matchup with Washington. Last one, Nick Chubb, not on the final injury report as of today. So he should be ready to go. And then one minor note, Deshaun Jackson, not happy with the Rams requesting a trade. So he's already been ruled out for that reason. So Scott, a ton of injuries there. So obviously the Giants, an important one, especially in season long. You know, you're waiting on those guys for the Monday Night Football game. What else, or the Giants? What really stands out here, injury front?
Yeah, obviously the Miles Sanders going on the IR. Obviously that made Gainwell or Scott. I'm kind of interested to see how they roll them out. You know, I'm not sure if they're just going to plug in Scott, like I was saying the other day, just for Sanders and leave Gainwell in that receiving type third down role. But so I think that will be interesting. But yeah, you know, you just feel bad for a guy like Tanya, and you saw that last night, and you knew right away once you saw that play, it didn't look good for him. But yeah, just kind of looking for my own teams here. I do have some shares of Dak, so obviously I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. I got a couple shares of Gronk in some spots too, so I'm kind of hoping he gets back out there. It sounds like he's going to try to give it a roll. But man, Chris, if I was a Julio owner, it just seems like year after year after year. I don't know if the guy has in his contract he doesn't practice or what the deal is, but man, it always seems like this guy's got something going on where he just rolls out there on Sunday.
He's old. I mean, it's simple.
That's true.
You know the feeling. I mean, you're old. You
Right.
just can't do it as good as you. And there you are, another live view of them leaves. So he's in the
he's
same
not
boat as
raking
you.
leaves.
I know. I'm hoping he pays somebody to rake his leaves. But yeah, I mean, he's a guy in dynasty leagues that I've tried to. I have traded him away in some. You know, you want to get out early. Sometimes we hang on too long to these guys. So once there was an excitement about him going to Tennessee, that was my exit strategy. Like, okay, there's hype around him right now. Still a big name. You want to get out when you can. You know, even if it's a year early, it's better than a year late. So he certainly fits that bill. So if you're in dynasty leagues, I'm always evaluating my rosters. If I see a guy, especially running backs, you know, even like an Ezekiel Elliott, who's still very much in his prime, but I've had running backs die on some of my dynasty rosters as well. You know, you hang on to Todd Gurley too long. Look what's happening with David Johnson. I mean, these guys were the cream of the crop, RB1 in dynasty, and they suddenly go from that to worthless. You can't even trade them for a fifth-round rookie pick. So be ahead of things. Ezekiel Elliott is one that really stands out to me that I've been actively trying to move before things fall apart, and it's Tony Pollard's job. So just a little dynasty tidbit, and we'll be covering more of that as we go along here at Woodward Bets. Probably my favorite form of fantasy football, Scott, are these dynasty leagues. So just a little nugget there. So let's transition to the NBA here tonight. 7 games on the schedule. So we'll start with DFS. A lot of last night we saw, you know, you had to have Montrezl Harrell, like we mentioned. Steph Curry was another one, had a big game. So let's look at tonight. Normally Friday night's a much bigger card, but just 7 games on the slate. So who are you looking at here in DFS tonight? High end, value, mid range? Which ways are you going here tonight?
Yeah, just kind of looking around, like I've said before, I have, we as DFS players, we have all these computer optimizers and stuff. So I like to spin a bunch of them and kind of see what comes up, see if I kind of see common patterns and players that are up there. But Valanciunas, another guy, again, that I've been mentioning, he's only 8,200 on FanDuel. I think he's a decent play. Reggie Jackson, I don't mind tonight for the Clippers either. He's only 5,800. I think that's a decent cheap play. And then just Chris, because I really like saying his name, Mo Bamba. I just like saying his name. So Mo Bamba is a guy that I'm looking at. He's popping a few times on some optos, but I don't mind him as a cheap play. And then obviously on a slate like tonight, we got Luka. He's obviously one of the top spends. So that's probably a guy that I'd probably start my teams with.
Yeah, back to back for Dallas. So just be a little weary of that. Just keep an eye on the news, like we always say. NBA, you got to be paying attention all the way up until lock. So guys like Durant, Harden in a good spot here tonight against Indiana. I don't hate them. I really like Fred VanVleet of Toronto. We know Pascal Siakam remains out. There's some minutes available in Indiana in that game against Brooklyn with no Malcolm Brogdon. So TJ McConnell, Duarte, a couple guys I like there. And then I'm going to echo your Valanciunas call. Sacramento is absolutely horrific against centers. They give up a ton of rebounds. That's the name of the game here with Valanciunas. In fact, 3 straight games of 15 rebounds for him. So I really like him, a guy that we've always wondered, when is he going to get minutes? He's finally starting to get those minutes, and I think he pounds the Kings here. Also like his teammate in the mid-range, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, one of my favorite breakout candidates this season. I'm really starting to see that play out. He had a horrific game last time out. We know it's the recency bias will keep people away from him, but other than that, been pretty consistent all around. So one more value play, Bruce Brown of Brooklyn, super cheap, starting to play minutes in the low to mid 30s. So minutes is money in the NBA. You want your guys out there playing. You also want to look for injury situations that guys can capitalize on, like I spoke about with Indiana. So obviously a lot more to NBA DFS than that, but those are some of the basics and things to look at here. So, all right, Scott, we reached our favorite point of the show, our best bets segment. So I'm going to let you lead things off here tonight. Anything, we got baseball, we got hockey, if you really want to get daring. We also have basketball here. So let's keep the hot streak going. Where are we going tonight with our best bets?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my favorite sport, baseball, and I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Braves in the first 5 innings tonight. I think Garcia struggles a little bit. I also am interested in the under K prop for Garcia, 4.5. So I'm kind of hoping he gets beat up, gets out of there second or third inning, doesn't have a chance to get to that K prop. But Chris, I'll bring up, you were mentioning, you kind of had me sold on this Valanciunas, especially with all the rebounds. And just real quick, I looked it up. He's plus 108 to get over 14.5 rebounds on FanDuel. So I think that's kind of interesting there as well. But yeah, my bet tonight is going to be the Braves in the first 5 innings. And I don't mind the run line either. So if you're giving up a half run, I don't mind that. You might get like plus 125, plus 130, somewhere around there. But yeah, that would be my plays of the night.
All right, I'm going to stay away from baseball. I'm going to give you guys 4 NBA plays today, Scott. So, next time you go down to the FanDuel casino, you mix and match these. If you want to parlay some of them, whatever you want to do, let's hope the run continues. So the totals have been good to us. So I'm going to stay with the total for the first one. I'm going over 206 in the Orlando and Toronto game. It's just 2 defenses that I don't believe in. We mentioned quite a few players from that game. You mentioned Mo Bamba. I brought up Fred VanVleet. I also like Wendell Carter on that Orlando side. 2 teams that have really struggled. 3 wins combined to open the season here. So 206 seems way too low here. I think they cruise over that total. So I like that over there. I'm going to go under 223.5 in the Indiana and Brooklyn game. And that always makes you nervous with Brooklyn going and under. We know that offense, very, very explosive. I think Indiana may struggle to score some points here. I like a few of their players in DFS tonight. But this one could get out of hand early, go into cruise control. That tends to play well to an under. So under 223.5 on that one. I'm going to give you another over in the Sacramento and New Orleans game. I like over 221. I think that one could be a track meet. 2 offenses that can be very, very good. I love stacking that game in DFS. And then one spread bet for you here. Love the Nuggets here, -2 at home. Dallas playing that back-to-back, like I mentioned. I think Denver's the better team of the two, so it'll only be -2 here. I know there's some questions about Jokic, if he plays or not. I like it regardless, so Denver -2 to finish up. So, again, to recap, my best bets, over in the Orlando-Toronto game, over 206, under 223.5 in the Indiana and Brooklyn game, over 221 in the Sacramento and New Orleans game, and I like Denver at home -2. So, Scott, quick recap of your best bets before we get out of here.
Yep, like I said, the first 5 of the baseball game, and then I'm going to roll with the under in the Garcia strikeout prop tonight.
All right, 6 best bets for you here at Woodward Bets. So we want to thank you again for tuning in and listening on this fine Friday evening. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Again, Beastie and Scott will be here breaking down the entire card. They'll spend a lot of time on that game as well, talking Michigan State. So enjoy that one tomorrow. The Lions on Sunday. And again, if you want to join the festivities tomorrow, East Lansing, Hopcat 10 to 12. Come join the Woodward sports team. Getting the pregame all set for that Michigan State showdown. So follow our page on Twitter at Woodward Bets. We want to grow that thing. So thank you for your support over there. Follow the network at Woodward Sports and make sure you go and check out Underdog Fantasy and use our promo code WSN for $10 free on a $10 deposit. So Scott, good luck to you here tonight. Good luck to everybody out there with your bets and your DFS. For Scott, for our boy Easy producing the show behind the glass, I am Beer. We are Woodward Bets. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow.